Yeah, and let's talk about pitching a little bit because it's important. You know, we've got Ted Lilly here. We've got John Garland, who's nursing an injury right now. It should be ready by mid-April, I believe Stan Conti said. And the pitching is solid. They've got a great bullpen. Jonathan Broxton, we just talked to Don Mattingly about John, and he feels very comfortable keeping him as the closer. So we're going to see what happens because right now their bullpen looks solid. It's important.
And I like Chad Billingsley in the starting mix too.
Very good.
But I think there's a drop-off after Clayton Kershaw, and almost any team except the Phillies maybe that he plays on, there would be a drop-off between, and he probably wouldn't be the number one there, but he's the number one here, and he'd be the number one almost everywhere.
Right.
I think Billingsley can throw. I'm comfortable with him. Closing, frankly,
well, it's going to be a question mark because Broxton had so much trouble the end of last season that, you know, you wonder, is it mental, is it physical? I guess his velocity is, what, up to 93, 94 right now?
And he looks like he throws 120. He's a big, scary guy. But
exactly.
the reason I was hemming and hawing with the is I don't know what to make of Jonathan Broxton. I don't have a sense of great comfort, not that anyone cares how I feel, but the reason for that is he is hit or miss. He looks like a closer. He's a big, strong, scary guy. He throws hard. Not quite as hard as you'd think from looking at his 300-pound frame, or they've pared that down a little to 290 or so. He's a big guy. He's a scary
big guy,
You cross the street when you see him coming.
But you're talking about, this is what you think. A lot of fans think as you do as well. So it's something that they need to address when we talk about, of course.
Well, and that's he as, I guess, the nominal closer going into the season. He's the guy that they're going to hand the ball to late,
that's right.
and it's his job to lose. I don't know if he can hang on to it or not. There's nothing more frustrating for a starting pitcher than to leave with a two-run lead after 7 innings and watch your closer leak it away. And
what kind of mental toughness do you have, do you think, to be a closer?
You have to be oblivious to a whole lot of stuff, feel that you can beat anybody up, overpower anybody. As soon as you start having doubt, it creeps into you, and everybody jumps on it. They'll say, boy, his eyes don't show it. His eyes don't look like he has it. Body language, body posture, and then your pitching mix. Do you start, if you're a power pitcher like Broxton, do you start getting cute? Do you start throwing more breaking balls? Are suddenly guys beating you in the late innings off your curveball? So, or your change, so, which Trevor Hoffman made a living out of, the changeup. So change can be a power pitch. I shouldn't denigrate that. But do you get away from your strength?
Right.
If you are a power pitcher, if you like to mow guys down with a fastball, are you not doing that for some reason because you guys have started hitting the fastball, you get away from it a little bit, now your confidence goes, then everyone else loses confidence in you.
Right.
There's the snowball and there's trouble.
I will tell you one thing though, all of the players in the Dodger locker room, they have complete confidence in Jonathan Broxton. I think that's huge because if your teammates rally around you, you're going to have a better shot at coming back, and they seem to.
Well, and again, he's a big scary guy. If he approached me in the dugout right now and said, Doug, whoever you are, do you have confidence in me? I would say, yes, sir. Yes, sir, I do.
If he beats you up, he's going to beat you up. You know that?
And it's going to go quickly, and it's going to be embarrassing, and it's going to be bad. And everyone thinks that way. Not that there's going to be fights when he gets out there, but that is the kind of guy he is. He has the closer's persona, mentality. He's got a live arm.
That's right.
Just has it been working out for him lately? He probably is not quite the pitcher he'd like to be, and the Dodgers want him to be a little more reliable down those last few pitches of the game.
Absolutely, and it's tough because he was an all-star last year, having a great season. It wasn't until the end of the year that he really stumbled and fell. So we'll see what happens with that. Another two great guys coming back for us are Jamie Carroll and Rafael Furcal. And when Rafi is playing great, there's no better hitter in the lineup.
He has a beautiful swing. He has a beautiful compact swing, and he's an excellent defense player. Rafael Furcal is the kind of guy you can build a team around. Also, you can build a pitching staff around Clayton Kershaw. You can build a defensive club and a batting nucleus around Furcal. He is a solid player. You know what you're going to get from him. You're going to get it all year long. Don't worry about him at all.
Yeah, and you know, also another big story for the Dodgers is, of course, Russell Martin is gone. He's with the Yankees now, but we've got Rod Barajas, A.J. Ellis, and Deanna Navarro, who are all, you know, trying for that catching job. And I got to tell you, Rod Barajas has been such a breath of fresh air because he wants to be here. He grew up a Dodger fan. We love that. We love guys that actually get to that field and they just want to touch the grass because they're so excited to be there.
Well, of course, they should be in the catcher's box where there's no grass, Marie. They should be away from the
but
I know
you
what
know
you're
what
saying.
I mean.
I know what you're saying. And everyone worries about Russell Martin being gone. They miss Russell Martin. And it's like when you think of an ex-girlfriend, you think, oh, she was wonderful. I remember the good parts about it. We remember the good parts.
You forget all the bad parts, though, huh?
No comment. We remember all the good parts about Russell Martin.
Right.
He was, when he was on, he was both sides. He was a great offensive player, power, handled the pitching staff well. Things started going a little bit south here. They parted ways. and people are worried. Oh, we don't have Russell Martin anymore. Well, you're remembering the good Russell Martin, and we played for a while here without the good Russell Martin, and things went okay. But it was time for an upgrade. He's going to be better off where he is, and I think the Dodgers are going to be better off with a fresh look at catching. A little unnerving. That's a terrible position to change. You'd like to have stability. The franchises that had the same catcher for years, and the Johnny Benches for the old Red Machine and the Carlton Fisks. These
Gosh, Doug, how old are you?
A million, and that's shaving some off. But having a guy like that behind the plate who's there year in and year out is something that's good. So when your catcher changes, that is probably the worst possible. Maybe shortstop, but changing the catcher I think is the worst because it changes the way the staff pitching staff throws the ball, and you lose an anchor. There's nothing that jacks a team up like a play at the plate where the catcher gets blasted, holds onto the ball, and ends an inning.
That's true.
I think there's nothing like that. There's walk-off home runs, and those are good too. But I don't think anything pumps people up like a catcher who can stand in there, take a shot. And Russell Martin was that kind of guy. So that's the good Russell Martin. We remember the good part of our ex-girlfriend. But it's time to go in a new direction. The Dodgers are going to have to feel their way through that, and it's a question mark, so it's a little worrisome.
It's a question mark, but I think that they're going to be able to do it, and again, they've got a lot of really good talent, and it's time for somebody new.
Yeah. This happens in baseball, it happens in other sports. It's just time, and so unsettling as it is, here we go.
Okay, speaking of time, they're about ready to kick us out of here because it's time for them to come over here and start practicing on this field, so Doug and I are going to go talk to players, so don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back.